Here. Uh,
How's everyone this
Hello.
morning?
Text
Good.
Siri.
Thank you.
Okay, hold on a minute. Let
Morning.
me.
Oh, I guess it's morning somewhere.
Oh, sorry. It's morning in New Zealand, actually.
We're all
That's where I'm
conscious
back.
anyway, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what shall we start with our little wins this week? What have we achieved this week so far, or in the past week anyway? So
Well,
anything
I'm getting
exciting?
close to be able to upload. I thought I was like ready because I had my
Very
stuff
cool.
from EPM. I'm a little slower, but I discovered that the spreadsheet that Marisa had in the EPM course is not the spreadsheet that y'all want for Experienceify. So I'm redoing that right now.
Sure.
And that's
No
where
problem.
most of my questions come from to make sure I'm filling that in correctly
Sure,
from
we
the
can.
doc.
Yeah, we can go through that. Hello, Katrina. Welcome.
Hi.
We're just sharing our wins. So Vivian is actually getting very close to submitting the document, right? So, yeah, we'll get that. We'll see what we can do and help you get that filled out. So, how about you, Coach Doris? You're
Yes, I've been using Expensify for a few years now, more 2 years, and I'm looking at uh doing my first podcast interview. And I
very
was
cool.
just reading on your site that I could actually put podcasts,
Yes, you
make
can.
it a subscription service. So I'm excited about learning, if you have time, a little bit about podcasting
Good for you.
using Expensify.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. We can talk about that. Hello, Susan. Welcome. It takes a few minutes for sometimes to connect. What about you, Karen?
Well, my win is that I'm here today, and
Oh, welcome. It's nice to
thank
see
you.
you.
Uh, Thank you. Well, and I'm just struggling with the, I guess, technology part of it because I'm not sure if my Stripe account is set up correctly.
Right.
That's kind of like my Achilles heel. I don't know that well, and so I don't know. I guess I've been feeling a little bit discouraged about how to move forward.
Okay. Okay. We can take a look at your account section and make sure that you can connect. I can see your document, Karen. At the moment, the Experienceify page, that's the help document, take you step by step, is down at the moment. It's not currently
Okay.
working. But why don't I shoot you an email? You did receive my email I sent you a couple of weeks ago after our session.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I did.
I just want to make sure that email did come through. So I'll drop you an email if that's not if I can't get it working before we end the session, just to make sure that you have that you get that link to take you through if we don't have time to just go step by step. But because you need to make sure that the strap end is set up as well. So that's a little bit more of a complex process. So yeah,
Thank you.
you're most welcome. Katrina, what about you? What's your win this week? Sorry, we start these sessions by sharing a little bit of win.
Oh,
So
okay. Oh, this is my first time on the office hours call. We were actually I work for an organization, so I'm here on behalf of her, for Claudia. And we are going to start an evergreen course. So we wanted to figure out the best way to start releasing the trainings
yeah,
as an evergreen course.
okay. So is the course built, Katrina?
Yes, the course is
Oh,
built.
cool. Awesome. All
Trainings
right.
are everything is in there. We just need to figure out the way that she wants to release them and
Yeah.
how we can do that. Yeah.
Okay. No problem. We can take a look at that. Susan, welcome. Hello, Flor. Welcome.
I
Susan, you got wins to share with us. How's your course going?
I guess
Susan.
I've been dealing with problems. So And
Yeah,
so
but you
far
have
I've
finished your
managed.
course, right? So that's that's a
my
big
course
win.
my course has been finished, except that I have to go back and fix that problem with the dashboard.
Okay,
Um,
we can have a
I
look at
was
that.
about ready to go log in and work on that today. And I went to see if Amazon had delivered my package, which they had, but I had to walk through a 3-foot deep snowdrift to get to the mailbox where they left
Oh.
the package instead of putting it on my porch, like I always
Oh.
say in the instructions
Oh.
that they should do. But I guess they didn't want to walk through the snowdrift either, so they left it in the mailbox. So
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that,
But-
but at least you got your package. So better
I
than
got
no
my
package.
package.
So that's
But
good.
the
That's good.
other thing I was dealing with, and I still haven't totally resolved it, is I'm looking for a new apartment. So I've been looking at ads, or not ads, but posts on Facebook. There's a Facebook group for housing in this town where I live. And apparently I clicked on something that was infected, because then I started getting this supposedly message from Windows Defender, which I knew was not true, and so there, and it's telling me that they've shut down my Facebook account and disconnected me from the internet, which I know wasn't true because I had a YouTube video playing in the background. So I know enough about it that I just went ahead and rebooted, even though they told me not to do that, so.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to get rid of it so that I can actually go back into Facebook and look for the replies to my questions about some of the apartments. So I'm afraid I'll trigger it again and have to go through the whole process again. So,
Poor
so that's
Susan,
been
I'm
kind of-
sorry about that.
yeah, I'm used to getting antivirus messages like that, fake ones.
Yeah, just
But I
be very-
never had gotten infected from Facebook before. That was a new one for me. So
Yeah. I'll
It's
share
frustrating.
Defender with you, actually, the one I use anyway. So hopefully that would help you going forward anyway. So I'll
well,
shoot
you
an
know
email.
what? I started looking to see, and then I had trouble getting Chrome back open without having that thing pop up again. But I know I had learned years ago that if you need to do a scan of your system and you think it might already be infected, that there was a program you could run online that was called FPROT.
Yeah.
Do you know if that?
Susan, I will shoot you. I'll drop you a link with the Defender
Okay.
I use, so you can check
Yeah, I
that
don't know
both
whether
online and
FPROT
offline.
is
So
still there.
yeah.
I hadn't gotten to check that yet,
Yeah.
but yeah, if you
But
have a way to.
we'll see what we can do to help anyway. So we'll
Yeah.
get that sorted. So yeah. But
In
anyway,
the meantime, I was able to get into Windows Defender, and it's telling me everything was fine, except that there was one setting that was turned off
okay.
for memory protection. So I turned that back on, and maybe that will take care of it. But otherwise, it was telling me I didn't have any infections or any viruses or anything. So we'll see.
Right. We'll get you
Always
sorted soon.
something.
So cool. Sheila, welcome. Floor, what about you? How are you going, Floor? You winning?
Well, I must get my Evergreen course up and running because the client wants that too. So I had a few questions. I was playing with the tags on, like, as you suggested, like if I onboard them, I add an extra tag, like course not completed yet. And then I was also wondering, because it will be an Evergreen course, how the email sequence, because you mentioned only when they're in the sequence and then that event triggers, for instance, the mission accomplished for that week, then it will stop. So if they binge watch now, in theory, they will still get 3 weeks later all the emails.
So so yes, they would, but it's actually, so what I think you need to set up in that case is in 2 days. So for example, this probably applied to Katrina as well, and the Evergreen course that you're looking at. So the starting trigger will be the day that you logged in, and after X number of days, that you will get the second email of a reminder, rather than setting the trigger of actually releasing on the particular day.
Mhm.
I'm actually thinking whether the stopping trigger would actually stop from happening. Sorry, Flo, I need to think through this of how to stop the trigger. I wonder if the stopping trigger would actually stop it from activating, if they were going through the sequence, like they were binging through the entire course. So I'm just sorry, Flo, I have to think about that and come back to you. Just give me a moment to work through that in my head. Is that okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And is there a resource, because I looked at like evergreen courses for best practices for evergreen courses, from like how to enroll people. I do know like for the trigger that should be days after, but any other best practices for evergreen courses?
Let me see. Sorry, the Help Center doc is the Help Center link is currently down. I suspect they're updating it. Flo, if we don't, like I said, if I don't get to that document like Karen, is that what I will do is I will drop you an email.
My brain is
Sorry.
fried.
Is that okay, Flo?
Yeah.
Yeah. So is that the only challenge that you have at the moment? Was that?
Well, I had one more question. So I can enroll students by just adding like on the students, and just add students one by one, or with upload a document, and then they will get a link. So I can do that. Is there best practice for going through the onboarding page and having people register themselves versus you register for them? Like, is there any difference because now they miss a piece of motivation, so to speak, like what the course is about. They now roll immediately into the homepage.
So, Flo, have you set up the sorry, I just it's what I call a landing page, but the sign up page. Just bear with me. Let me grab the name of this page. Have you actually set up your order form? So
Yeah, the order form,
yeah. So if you get them to set up the order form, obviously, they can actually enroll themselves through the order form, depending on how much you charge. Or if it's a free course, you can always set it to 0 anyway. So people will be able to enroll themselves. So if you set it up, then they can actually come
I do
through.
know that. I was just again like wondering like what if there is a difference in best practices for
No, I think Flo, it's actually entirely for. I mean, you will be able to control when to release and when to add the students. Obviously, when you control that list. So it's about whether that you wanted to fill in at the time that you wanted to fill in, and you can control when to release when you know they've been added. But if they just come in, they will just start they will just start their experience as they sign in. So they will get their welcome email. They will get their they will go to the homepage, then they will be able to start. But because it's an evergreen course, I assume you're not taking the student on as a big cohort, so they will come in as they go. So potentially that would be probably so you want them to probably sign up. It's just save you having to enroll. You got big numbers, Flo, as we were talking about. You probably don't want to manually input every single one of them. Will be better for them to sign up themselves rather than taking your time to do every single thing. And you probably get a more complete information about the student if they do fill it in themselves rather than you do it, Flo. That's what I find, that sometimes when you ask people for their details, they gave you parts of the information about themselves, like first name. Sometimes you don't get a last name because that's what they give you. But if they sign up, because they can't actually sign up without the last name, so that way you will get the first name, last name, and all the other details.
And also they also sometimes give them even the phone numbers, which I otherwise will also miss.
So,
okay, that's then I will just that's already very helpful. Yes.
Yeah. So
Becky, can I add something to the, for me, one of the big advantages of setting up the order page was that it lets me give them more information about getting started with the course too, instead of just relying on them reading the email. You know, if everything's up, you can have a little welcome video on the order form and any information that you want them to see before they get started.
Exactly. Yeah.
ooh,
And then are there any, if there's no questions, any practices, best practices also for like tagging students? Because I now have, I assume there will be about 1 or 2 people starting each week. So I will have like, it will be difficult to keep track of who started when, and to a certain extent the system does that and sends out all the emails and it sends out the reminders. At the same time, is there anything that I like tag wise to that could help me to quickly see like who is should be in his 3rd week, who should have completed it this at the end if I want to do any additional outreach? Is there any best practices for tags there?
best practice for tags, Flo, no, I would say just depending on what you wanted to achieve. So if you want to keep track on the students, you can, I'm just thinking through about this tagging. So you can tag them when they, for example, they enter, session 3 or session 2. And then so that way you get a notification, you can send yourself an email to say, actually, the student has actually entered it's entered second week. So that way you can use the tag like that. And then I suppose you want to remove the tag after they've been through to second week. Otherwise these guys are going to have 10,000 tags, right? So it's depending on what you want to achieve. You want to really map that out and see where in which point that you want them to get notified. So yeah, and I don't know, Flo, do you have, I know you have a lot of automations and a lot of celebrations set up, but do you have a celebration that triggers when a student completes a milestone, for example, say week 2 at end of the session? If you have something like that, you can probably build it into that to say, send me a notification saying that they have finished and things like that. So
Yeah.
in a good way
what would be helpful for me is like a student signed up, but they didn't get started yet. And that I can easily filter like, oh, I have here like 1 or 2 students that started, but they didn't like, they signed on, but they didn't really get started. So instead of waiting for 2 weeks, I could reach out a little sooner to them.
Yeah.
And that's when everyone starts at different dates, like that will take more effort on my end to quickly filter, like who should I give a quick call?
I think there is actually a rescue sequence. Flo, I can actually drop you. I can actually drop you the link to that doc. Just at the moment it's not working. I'm sorry. But I will get that. I'll get that doc to you. So you can take a look at that. Because you'll be able to actually follow the steps and actually set it up. I think that might be what you're thinking. The rescue sequence, that if the student have signed in but they haven't got started because life gets in the way. So I'll get that to you.
Yeah, because I do know there's one for like if they haven't logged in for 10 days, that's set up, but I also want,
you will be able to adjust that to obviously forward if there's 2 days and things like that. So because there's an automation obviously, so you will be able to adjust the length of time. So I'll get that doc to you. That should be helpful to you. And if I need to, I'll make a video.
Becky. You're such an awesome resource.
Thank you. Thank you, Flo.
I have a couple of quick questions and then a couple of other questions, which from your point of view might be really quick, but that I don't know. The first couple of quick questions is in going through the doc step 1, and probably will occur in some of the other ones. The little check boxes, like says you choose this option or that option for like choosing your school URL says option 1, the format .experienceify.com or at option 2. And if I want option 1 and I check that box, then it does a strike through for everything else, which makes me feel like it's marked out instead of selected. So I'm unsure how to mark those.
Okay. Sorry, Vivian, just give me 1 second. We haven't spoken to Sheila yet. Poor Sheila has been waiting. We just
Oh,
give
I'm
her,
sorry.
we'll just say, can we just say a quick hello
Couldn't tell if
and
we'd
welcome
gone
her?
through into the
No,
questions yet.
we're almost, we are almost, so
Okay.
Sheila, are you still there? Okay, maybe she dug away for a moment. Okay, so are we talking about the, oh, sorry, she's back.
I am
bet.
there, yes. I couldn't
Thank-
find my Zoom link.
Yeah. Thank you for being
Well,
patient and welcome.
thank you so much. I am just tuning in for the first time. I'm just developing my EMC
cool.
course. I already have a website, and I'm trying to do a bunch of things on my website where I'm offering gut microbiome, health, hormone replacement, aging, dermatology, everything in one. But I'm trying to have different EMC courses on my website so that people can choose what they want to work with. And one of the difficulties I'm having is the question is, should I be creating, will Experienceify help me create the EMC for all of these different topics? Or do I have to just do one course? Like if I'm working on the gut microbiome, that's one question. And the second one is I'm trying to understand the difference between the domain and the school name, because currently I already have a school domain called info@dredermatology.com. And when I try and save it, it doesn't allow me to save it. I have to use support at experienceify.com. So I'm just trying to, because currently the contact page that I have on my website has info, not support. So I'm just wondering if I'm going to be using the same website, what should I do?
Okay, no problem. The quick answer is you can't use your current domain. You have to set up a subdomain, Sheila, for your school name. So in order for the URL, so it could be school at, school dot, for example, ours is accelerate.mesuccess.com. So, or whatever the name might be, but you have to set up a subdomain to be the school name. So you can't use the same URL, otherwise it will occupy your websites. And so if you think about it, two exactly the same name can't occupy the same space. That's how I look at that. That's why you need to create a subdomain. So it could be school, then your domain name, and then whatever the suffix is for the rest of your course. So you will have to set up a subdomain for your school name. So that way, that will be much, much easier. There is a help doc. I'm really sorry. I would drop it for you. But unfortunately, as I was saying, that the help doc sites currently is not loading. So Sheila, if you drop me an email in the chat, which I've dropped my email anyway, or you can send me an email. What I will do is once that become available, I will send that link to you so you can actually step-by-step go through how to set up a subdomain. So and if anyone needs to, for these more complex things, I have just started a YouTube channel for this community. So if anyone have any particular issues on how to do things, please drop me an email, which is in the chat, that I can make little videos of walking you how to do it, and I'll upload it on YouTube just so everyone can see it much easier, because we get lots of SAM requests, and just trying to help the community build that. So cool. All right. So Sheila, is that do we answer that quick question in a snapshot, and then we can come back to your bigger question about course building?
Perhaps it's better if I speak to you via email or chat or something, because I'm not sure if I'm making myself clear. I already have this website for the last 5 or 10 years, and the email, people are contacting me through that email. And so suddenly, if I change everything, it might be a little bit, I don't know how to integrate.
No, you don't need to change everything, you don't need to change your main website and your email address. So what you need to
Okay.
do is you need to go into the back end, and on your DNS, you just need to add a subdomain. So you create another. So it's exactly the same. So it will be your domain, but you just need to create a subdomain.
Oh, a subdomain. Got it.
Yeah. So that's
So
what you need to
I've
do.
got I've got my team. I've outsourced it to a company in India, and so I just have to let them know about
Yeah.
that.
Absolutely. So you
Okay.
say, I want a subdomain, but just make a decision on what you wanted to do. You can call that school dot your domain name, or courses dot your domain name, and then that way you can actually input that into the account section of your school name. So it must not be your main website, but it just have to be a subdomain that way. So you just can't have two things taking up two
Got it.
spaces. So.
And your email? Your
Oh, sorry,
email
it's I've dropped that in chat. I've dropped all my information in the chat. Do you want me to do
Okay.
that again for you? I'll do that.
And a quick question, the last one. Can I create several EMCs on my website? Or is it just one EMC that they will allow me to create?
No, you will be able to actually keep creating EMC
Okay.
in the back end of your obviously XP Builder. So you just need to do one at a time. But
One
just
at a
another
time.
thought, Sheila, you can, if they are all related courses and you don't want them to be an EMC, you can actually create them as a whole course. And then so you can say training one is related to, module one is related to this, module two is related to this. And that way you can have them all in one single container, just depending on what you wanted to achieve. And
Okay.
the school name is so important is because when you will actually be able to set up your marketplace page, which that will actually put in all your different courses together in one place, and you will be able to put that link onto your website, for example, so people can see all the different courses that you have.
Courses. Got
So
it.
that's for marketplace. When you go to step number 4 in pages, that you will
Yeah.
actually be able to find that particular page.
All right. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. I've got to rush, but I will see you again next week.
Yeah, and I will drop you that link for you about subdomain so you understand that.
All righty. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Nice to see you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, Vivian.
Yes. So in particular since we're talking about schools, the school URL, it has the option 1 that it could be question, which is school.experienceofI.com, and which is what I want to do. But when I check option 1, all the text there then appears as a strike through, which makes me think it's not selected as opposed to being selected. So I'm just not sure how to select the options so that I actually get what I'm trying to opt in for.
Vivian,
make
have you got
sense?
your document open? Do you want to
I've
share?
got my document. I've got my document open. Let me. There's I have 5,000 other things open as well, but let me find the share button.
Okay, I think that's every course. That's every course builder. I think everybody has about 10,000 tabs open.
Sharing is not turned on, it says.
Yeah, but that's okay. I will give you permission once you hit. Is that not? What's going on? Yeah. Just bear with me. It was all turned on. So, do you want to try again? Usually I get a
It
pop-up
says
to
send
say,
request.
yeah, here we go.
Multiple presenters. It's still black. Oh, well, there it goes. Okay.
Just takes a moment.
Alrighty. So let's take that. Oh, share down here. Okay. I can't tell what you're seeing now because I'm in something else. Can you see my screen?
We're looking at a Google Docs.
Yes, that's the Google Doc. So if you look where it says your school URL, I want the option of having it on Experienceify. So I checked that, but now you can see it's checked. All the text is strike through. So does that mean that's the option I'm getting, or I'm getting option 2 because it's not stricken through?
That is strange, isn't it?
Because it's that way for each thing that has a checkbox option. It switches it to strike through. So I'm quite confused on how to proceed with those questions.
This actually, that's a great question, Vivian. I don't actually know, because it might actually be a Marina question. Hang on, let me
Okay.
just grab this link for you. So quickly send them, I think you can send them a quick email. I've just dropped it in the
Okay.
chat for you.
Marina's.
So
Okay.
if you send a quick email to Marina, she will be able to answer your question there. So
Okay.
that hopefully that will be, she will be able to come back to you with that question. It doesn't make any sense, but in many sense, it
Yeah.
makes sense, I suppose. It makes it easier to see. So
Yes.
yes, I do apologize. I do not know why that's doing that. But
Okay. And then when it comes to the other sections on this, the pages, there's the option of respect to training notes, training sessions, and audio files. It will say if you skip that, does skipping that mean that I can add it later? Or if I skip it, that means that function or feature will not be available for that course?
okay, no, it will always be available. You can always put it in. But one thing during this build process, though, Vivian, while you don't have the video file or the audio file, that I highly recommend that you get, if you intend to load it later or record it later to add these sessions, please just say, you know, I will have audio later. You can just put in a placeholder audio or video in the meantime, but get that template in place so you can, when you get the course back, you will be able to see the whole thing, what it looks like and what you have to yet to create. You can always add it later, but while you're in the process of getting built, there can always be a placeholder video. So you could actually just grab something from YouTube or any kind of video, any kind of audio. In the meantime, just get a placeholder that holds. Is that making sense? Or should I show you rather?
Kind of and not, because I'd actually asked that question by email because I haven't been to one of these meeting things,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
asked it by
sure.
email, and they said, no, they don't do placeholders. But then I would look in the doc and it would tell me what to do, and I still really don't know what to do. It saw something that talked about an
Okay.
asterisk,
Yeah.
but I can't
Okay.
tell if
Let
skipping it,
me-
I can do it later because I'm going to have 63 sessions, so I
Right.
don't
Yeah.
be plopping in 63 different. I can't do them all at once, so
Yeah, of
I would
course, of course,
through the
of
course.
course.
But so I just wanted to present properly once you upload, you do the thing you do with the spreadsheet so that I can then later be putting in my videos and then a couple of MP3s.
Yeah, no problem. Hang on.
Do you
My
need me to
image is
share that again if I can't see what the document looks like?
sorry, just bear. No, I'll show you. I'll quickly show you. Just
Perfect.
bear with me. I'm trying to load. Okay, here we go. All right. For example, let's go share. This is one of I've actually transferred this as a demo course. So this is one of my courses. So for example, what I will get built is this main page. So you can always put this here. And when you go into the back end, you can actually upload. So you'll make this as a video or audio or whatever it might be. So you can later then upload things into the back end, and then which that will turn this into a video. See, at the moment, it's just a placeholder. There's nothing behind it. There's no button. But if I go to the next session, for example, training 2, see how
Yes,
there is
it's
a video behind it. So, so you can actually get that set up as a, you know, you want some sort of media in this
right.
in this area, essentially. So that's what you wanted
Yes.
to. I know they say not to, but just because you're new and while you're getting this built, it may pay to have the placeholders so that you can see what your page is actually going to be looking, the whole page is going to look like.
Yeah, so that I can pop it in there. But so what do I, how do I do that little guy in there as a placeholder in, every little page? Because everything is going to be a video.
Yeah. So what you can do is that you can say, so so you say the page setup, you will always want a video on the top, but you don't have all the videos. I'll always want a video on the top. Give them a thumbnail as a placeholder. Let me switch to
Okay,
this.
so that's what I need to do. Give them a
So-
thumbnail as a placeholder.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
and so this is where you will actually put in. So we are going into sorry, we're jumping a little bit, Vivian. I just want to show you how that's related. So the area in which that you will upload your video will be in step number 3. Yeah, step number 3. And so that's course contents, all the information here. So you will go into media, and that is where you will upload your lesson video. That's that. But if
Okay,
I
and
remove that video, the only thing remains is the thumbnail.
Okay. And this, mine is a done for you. And
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
trying to fill out the sheet. Okay, so this is still how we do it. So I need to put a placeholder in for each
Because
of
I
these.
assume you will need to drop, I know you need to drop your content and media and things like that for them. So you can say, use this as a placeholder in the meantime. So for every session, so just make something really quite generic. So when you go in every session that you
That it
need to
is
change
generic.
it.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you use different thumbnails, and then you start to lose track of
Oh, yes.
where,
Okay.
so,
That I
yeah.
understand is exactly what, because in the instructions it says, don't do that. Or when I talk to this, don't do that. So just confused.
Yeah,
So I
it's-
actually should do that, do a placeholder for videos. And then in the sessions, there's only a couple where I want MP3s. So
Yeah.
I should do placeholder MP3.
I would, you can't put MP3 up on there. So what you need to do is actually probably pop it in Canva and just turn it into an MP4. So you can actually have it there playing as well. So is that,
Alrighty.
yeah.
And then for PDF, it would be similar.
PDF you can upload, which you will need to, hang on, let me quickly show you on the builder. So it will be in the download section rather than this media section. This is for the main media. So you can, if you want to allow
okay.
them to download, you can actually upload MP3 here as well, but it won't
Perfect,
be
'cause
in that
that's-
placeholder. So that's
right.
that little bar down the bottom, how Marissa's session that you can go and download all the different documents
Yes, yes. Okay.
underneath. So that's where
Perfect.
that is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. That helps a lot, so I know which way to do it. And I have
Yeah.
a couple of questions, but I'll stop now because if other people have other questions.
If we need to go a little bit longer, we just have more people today. So I'm happy to go over by 10 or 15 minutes if you have time to stay, Vivian, I don't mind. So I can
that
actually
would be
answer your
lovely.
question.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Karen, you're most welcome. Karen,
Yes.
so yes, your tech challenges, what can we do for you?
Well, I attempted to open a Stripe account and connect it. I'm not sure if it's connected.
Yeah. Let me see if this document is actually working. Okay. No. Sorry, Karen, just bear with me for a moment.
Sure.
I'm just grabbing this for you. Yeah, it's working. Karen, I'm just actually about to drop this into chat for you. This is a step-by-step guide for going through setting up Stripe to connect with Experienceify. So you will be able to go through screen by screen and making sure that is set up.
Okay. All right.
So I think, yeah, sorry.
I may have seen it, but I'll go back through it,
Yeah.
Becky, just to make sure.
I mean, Karen, reach out if you need, and I don't particularly want to set up Stripe on office hour because we are recording the session that does contain personal information.
Right.
So we can, I'm happy to jump online with you and we can do that.
Okay. Well, I'll do it outside of this.
So
You know,
if that's okay with you, I just,
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I understand.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the help doc that will actually take you step by step through. That should actually help you with your connecting issue. I actually recently learned about Stripe is that you want to make sure on the Stripe end, not on the experience, not on the collecting front, that you wanted to make sure your Stripe is set up properly, because especially the identifier and things like that on the Stripe end, you want to make sure that's set up properly, because it could cause all sorts of issues with invoicing if it's not set up. Your company information and all the things, so you want to make sure everything is all ticked on that end as well before you start connecting. So
yeah. And I had questions around how to change. I don't want to use the clip art. I have images that I would like to use instead of, like celebrations, the little cat comes on and whatnot. So how do I do that, Becky? Where do I go to learn how to do that in the system?
So sorry, Karen. Are you referring to replacing thumbnails, or are you talking about replacing celebration?
Replacing thumbnails, I guess. Like when you get a celebration, the little cat comes up and the little clip art cat.
Yes.
I mean, I guess if you're choosing to use the cat, there may be other things. And I don't want to use clip art. I want to use photorealistic images instead of the clip art.
Okay. So, but we're talking about celebration, not the standard. Okay. Sorry.
You know how when you click, when you get your points, sometimes you click. And,
Yes. Okay. Let me just see. So I believe that is slightly more complex. You may have to actually send your animation or clip art that you are sending to support and for them to upload it for you. But the idea of you'll be able to change text and things like that. For the sake of actually demoing, Karen, do you mind if I just quickly share and so everyone can see what I'm looking at? So we are in the celebration. This is what Karen was talking about. So we're going to step number.
I'm going to charge you, but you certainly can do it.
So you can actually go in here and then you can open the celebration builder. And so you can choose different things. So Karen, I need to think through this, but I need to think about how to upload this in, and I can probably make a video if I figured out how to actually replace it. But I believe this is where that we, even in the CERT class we were talking about, I think this might be the case of where you need to actually send it to support for them to actually do for you. But sorry, my images are not currently working at the moment, but this is where you will go in and start changing all the different celebrations and saying well done or welcome to session 3 or wherever, that you'll be able to actually make changes to the text. And then Karen, there are about something like 2,000 different celebrations in the gallery, and there's some really cool ones too, like robots and all the different type. So there's the pre-built ones, obviously, of these ones. Is that what you're talking about? You want to replace?
No, those are the ones that I don't want to use. That's clip art.
Yeah.
I have images that I've developed.
Right.
That I want to use those.
Yes. Okay. I believe this is the case of actually sending it to support and saying I want this edit, but let me go through and run a few tests, and if I find something, I'll make a how-to video and tag you, Karen.
Okay.
And I'll pop it on YouTube as a how-to video, and then share that with you if I figured it out before you send an email to support.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thank you, Becky.
And I think, Karen, tomorrow we might actually be doing celebrations in the XP Cert. So you may want to pop on and join the training tomorrow. I think Rachel might be running through
Okay.
celebration. I'm not sure. It might be last week, but yeah. If I find
Is
it,
that
I'll let
something-
you know.
Is that something that we could watch too, or is that something that's in Momentum or something else?
No, that's Experience
Celebrations
Advice.
tomorrow.
That's the certificate XP Cert training. But however, if I did actually find if I figured out a way to actually do it myself, what I will do is, Vivian, I've actually dropped a YouTube channel there. I can always tag
Oh, I
you
saw
if you drop
YouTube
me.
channel. It's in
So
there
that
someplace?
is, I will drop it there if that was the
Okay.
if I figured out a way to
Awesome, thank
do
you.
these things. Do subscribe to it, Vivian. I will keep uploading
I will.
different videos of how to, and you can always
Perfect.
send me an email to say I want this clip because I don't know how to do this, or you can leave a message on the YouTube channel, and I will make the video as the request come in. So
Beautiful. Thank you, Becky.
Yeah. cool. All right, I think we are. Susan, I'll come back to you. Oh, sorry, Susan, do you want to add something or?
I just have a quick question because I would like to see that too. I didn't know you could add your own celebrations, so I'm really curious to see that once if you get a video to
Yeah.
explain it.
I believe you can, but it's a more complex process. I believe that actually has to go through I believe that actually has to go through support for them to upload that for you. But
Well, it has
there
to
was-
be some kind of an animated file, right? So I don't know. I don't know what kind of image Karen's talking about, but I don't know how you would animate it. So I'm curious to see that.
I was talking about like photo realistic type images, you know, like you take a photo of people as opposed to clip art. Because I
Right.
used AI to develop certain images for my market. And I wanted to use those rather than generic clip art.
But is it a static image or is it something animated?
It's not animated. I haven't animated it yet. I just created the image. And so I can animate it with AI.
Cool.
But Becky, I don't even know if I should do that
Right.
yeah. I don't know if I should do that.
Yeah, I think I think you can, but you know, depending on the celebration, depending on the experience, there's you should or you can't, and these are not. I think these are not the right words to use. It's just what do you want them to experience? Of course, realistic image. If you feel that's what the students need to see or your clients needed to see, then that is the right image. And sometimes, with kids, they like things running around because we usually do adults courses, and one of the our Mission AI Kids courses, they like things running around everywhere. They like celebration every 2 seconds, but where I think an adult will actually find every 2 clicks you get these pop-up is annoying, but the kids love it. So depending on who you are serving and what you're who you're working with and their psychology, they will get a motivation every 3 clicks that they should get a pop-up, then that's the right thing to do. So Karen, if you think the image is the realistic image is what they needed to see, then that's the right thing to do. So it's not one size fits all. So in this case, there's no right or wrong. It's just, what the psychology of, how do we keep students motivated?
Yeah, because my students are working in federal qualified medical centers.
Yep.
And so it's more of a academic, serious type class. It will,
But they can still have fun though. They can still have fun though,
Yeah,
right?
they can have fun. That's why I was thinking the
Yeah.
animation, but not the clip art.
No, fair enough.
Yeah.
But Karen, to go through the celebrations, sometimes, taking them out of the serious zone could actually really also help the brain engagement, the brain science. So there are slightly more serious ones. If you actually go through the builder, if you actually go in there and you can look through, there are more than clip art. There are little animated characters. Like I found one that's robot. So for our Mission AI course for the little kids, they're welcome. It's the little flying robots with little helicopter head. So, little things like that. If you go through, there's so many, you don't necessarily have to create your own. I'm not saying that you don't want to. I'm just saying you may not have to. So go through and have a look and then start searching keywords. So you can type in the words to search for certain things. So you can certainly find something that's close to what you need without going through the extent of actually having to set up your own. But you certainly can set, as part of the celebration, when you set up the automation, you can certainly have that realistic image in the email that you sent out, if that's something you want the students to receive and have.
Okay, thank you for that. I'll check it out.
Yeah. So it's just, I think it's just will save you a lot more of having to deal with it now. You can do that as an email and the other one as a celebration. But do go through, the library is humongous. So you will be able to find something that's not clip art, like the little cute puppy that we saw before, robots and all sorts of things. And I think there are 16 different types of robots, and there are puppies, but they're all animated. And yeah, it's good to disrupt the brain from time to time. Not always, but yeah, you gotta let your student have a little bit of fun, tiny little bit too. So,
well, I'm using gamification for that, and
absolutely.
My whole idea was the celebration and image would be tied to the topic of the module or the mission, rather than, so if I'm talking about assessment, which is the first step, the image will be about assessment. They're happy about assessment or whatever. So that's what I'm showing. And, so yeah, I have like the nurse and the doctor high-fiving, they got it done, because the issue is that it's not getting done. That kind of thing. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you might not necessarily need to do that. That's a more complex automation, which you can activate by, if they checked off something, a block appears. But that is a more complex. I will need to do a recording for that for you, Karen, if that's something that you're interested in. We can work on that together if you wanted. Yeah. So,
okay. And if I can, Becky, I guess I could send it in an email. If I can create a workflow with AI such that it triggers a work, to send the email with the high five.
Yeah, absolutely. And so if you created a video, you can always turn it into a GIF. So that's always so it's an image. So you can actually have them high-fiving in the email. So so rather than they have to open the image.
Right. Okay.
So there are all sorts of things and workarounds, and I do think the emails in the inbox always can always help. So.
But Becky, you never should give a woman a choice. We'll be here all day making up our mind.
No, choice is good though, because you can use them in different cases. So it's not always the same, right, Karen? The idea about learning is always, you want to give them some consistency, but you want to give them pattern interrupt as well. Otherwise, it will just be going, the same every session, right? So cool. I think, Karen, what you describing makes a lot of sense. I would be interested to see how you are creating the images in AI and then animating them as well.
Okay, that's Susan. So Susan, I'd like to connect. I'll put my information in the chat here.
So last week, actually, Karen, Susan, and a few other coaches and builders, XP course builders, we were talking about actually getting a group together and having a not necessarily XP information. We will talk a bit about XP, but about how to create better courses. So if you're interested, Karen, I'll send you an invite when we have actually sorted out time and a date to sort of do a first get together. It's just course builders getting together, having a chat about what we're doing and what's working and what are the current challenges. So I can drop you an invite.
I was wondering how I got blessed with this opportunity. I didn't know about this. It's the first time I've been here because I didn't know
Yeah.
about it.
So
Mhm.
yeah, well, so Karen, welcome. Yeah, so it's office hour. I'm here every week. So come online and have a chat. But we do try to focus on XP in these sessions because there's an XP office hour. But I just see a lot of other things that people want to discuss, and I don't want to take up office hours for that. So I can actually happy to host another session that's not, you know, offline, not about not necessarily about XP, but about overall course building and strategy and that kind of thing. So
Okay.
yeah, so Karen, if you're happy, we're going to go to see Doris. Doris,
Hi there.
hello.
Hi, I think my question or need is sort of off topic. People are here building their first course or their school, and I'm trying to add something to my courses. I want to add my podcast to Experienceify. Right now, they can enroll offline and they go to another place to enroll.
Yep.
But I want to keep them on Experienceify.
Yep.
And something just told me there was a template that I could actually build there's a template that's a gamification template,
Yep.
but it really works for podcasts as well. So I wanted to learn more about that.
Okay. So so at the moment, what you're saying is, Doris, is that right now they're signing up elsewhere and then going to a different platform. Is that what you're telling me? And what you wanted to do is
Right.
bring them.
Yes, right now they're clicking on a link and they're going to another place to sign up for my podcast,
Yeah.
another website, another app. So I
Yeah.
want to keep them on Experienceify if I can. And I
Mhm.
think I can on what I saw today.
Yeah, you can absolutely. Here, let me just share my screen really quick. I'm just gonna quickly get out of this folder. Just bear with me. Sorry, I've got all your lovely faces blocking where I'm going on my page. So just bear with me. I'm just going to do that offline real quick. Okay, now I'm going to share. Okay, so what you can do is, Doris, if you go to page template, so on the podcast, for example, that's just assume this is the podcast course, okay? So, you know, your podcast, this is your podcast course that you've created. So we call everything courses, but this is the podcast sessions that you have created that hosts all your podcasts, right? So that's what you have built. So where you go to is actually page and templates, and you set up your order form. Right. So once you set up the order form, you can have all sorts of information, and that will get them, you know, they come through here. It doesn't have to be paid, Doris, if you're actually doing, so see, this is,
What I saw was a new course. When I set up a new course,
yeah, okay.
there was a new course called Podcast.
Yes. Sorry, I have not seen that.
Sorry, a
have
new
not-
template. A new template called Podcast.
There is a, sorry, I'm just having a look.
Okay.
No, no, where are you seeing that template? That's pretty cool. Is that in a pre-built, is that a pre-built template, or somebody else has built it?
No, it was an Experienceify pre-built template called Podcast. And it was using a gamification template.
So I
And they
am
were called-
looking at, I'm looking at the templates.
Okay. It ended up in my courses when I said I wanted to add a new page, a new course.
Yeah.
It ended up.
Yeah, but I mean, Doris, regardless of what happens though, you can take any one of these courses, like the gamified course, or workshop course, you can actually choose one of these and just modify it. It doesn't really matter which template you use of one of those two, because you're just going to keep going depending on what you wanted to achieve, right? So you can even build it from blank. So the idea of is you make sure your template is actually, you make sure that your courses are set up right and the automation is set up right. That is the two parts that you wanted to make sure that is done, but it definitely can be done on Experienceify for sure.
Okay. I'll just go back and start working through, and I'll perhaps have more
Yeah.
questions next time.
Yeah, Doris, do you? Sorry, I'm not seeing my template. That's not seeing that template particular. But just grab one of the and then I'm really sorry. Has anyone seen that template, the podcast template, or?
I haven't seen that, but I was wondering if she runs across it again to copy the URL that's showing when she's in there, then maybe then she'd be able easier to find it or find out where it's supposed to be. That sounds very cool.
Yeah. I don't remember seeing anything like that. But you can definitely modify. I think one of because obviously it's going to be a long running, so I will say gamify course potentially. Coach Doris, it's something that you might want to grab that and then actually start modifying that to what you need it for. But obviously, before you make a life, check your automations. That's one of the big thing that I always say. Please check your automations, because all sorts of things could fly out, and if you're not while you're actually building it, if you're making it live and they have students.
I've got your email, so I may send you that link to it when I find it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that will be great. I'm really sorry. I just don't know what you're looking at, Doris, because I don't have it. Obviously, I just showed you, so I apologize. So we are on the hour, and Katrina has been waiting very patiently. So thank you for being patient. And
No problem. My question was just about the evergreen courses.
yes, absolutely.
So for example, we have a course already set up in the system.
Yeah.
We are going to have we have 12 modules.
Yeah.
We have 2 modules already open for when they purchase. Upon purchase, it's already open for them to access.
Yeah.
So basically our question is, how can we set up the other modules to release on certain days without doing a specific date?
Okay, so because you already got the students started in. Okay, it will be a little bit tricky just because you have already got students. It's already open. You have already got students.
No.
Okay,
So
good.
we have our basically our cart close days are going to be a March. Sorry, let me just pull that up.
Right. So nobody is currently in the experience at the moment, right? So
Correct. Yeah. So
good.
we plan
Good.
to have an open cart March 26th to April 2nd. And then we want people to be able to keep on purchasing after the 2nd and be able to come in, except we want to be able to release the modules per week.
Yep, no problem. So are you familiar with the automation part of the?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So what we'll do is I'm just going to quickly share my screen. So it's taking a little bit of time to load today. So what you can do, just click into here. Actually, we'll probably create a new one. That's probably easy. I'm just going to move your lovely faces over to the left-hand side. Okay, so we'll just go create new, create from scratch. So you wanted to set, Katrina, the starting trigger. So what you wanted to look at is, certain dates from when they first logged in. So starting triggers when they first logged in, or no login after a certain time. So there are a different bunch of triggers that you can add. So what you need to actually work through the sequence. So from the day that they have logged in, for example, so you wanted to count from the first day they have logged in, and after X number of days they have they have actually signed up from the first login. So you trigger the automation to send them an email, to send them a release. So after X number of days they have actually first logged in or first signed up, then this course gets released. Or after they have completed a certain action. That way you can actually go in and actually select a different criteria, is where you want to set up the starting trigger is when they first signed up.
Okay.
From the day that they first signed up, and then to where they hang on, just see. Just bear with me for a moment.
Uh-huh.
Katrina, do you want to drop your email for me? I can actually make a quick video on this for you, and just quickly walk you through the actual sequence.
Okay.
So you will actually be able to go and have a little play, and then you'll be able to find all the different tags, and so you'll be able to set it from the first day they log in to where after X amount number of days that you can release the session.
Okay. And if we were to set the module at an X number of days after they log in, because, for example, we want a certain module to release on like the 9th, every 9th of the month or something.
Yeah.
Would that be
Okay.
possible?
Yep.
Okay.
So hang on, I'll just get out of here so I can actually quickly show you. Okay, that's cool. So I will go into step number 3, Katrina. If you want to set a particular date to for things to release, choose a release date here. In step number 3 in your courses on release timing.
Yeah.
So, and after X number of days, this is where you will set up the you'll set up the session to be released.
What's the difference between X number of days and nth day specific week?
So on the first day after the section, so this will be every first Monday.
I see. Okay.
After,
And
yeah, sorry.
but that wouldn't work if there were more weeks in a month, in a different month. Does that make sense?
So you're meaning that there's more so sometimes you get five Mondays.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so is that what you mean?
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah. So it should so you'll be able to actually hang on, let me that's a trick question, Katrina. Sorry, I never thought about that. Okay, so on the first day after, so plus first Monday, no, it should still run. It should actually still run on the Monday. So that the trigger is that on the every Monday after joining, that they will get a release. So that runs actually on the very first Monday after they have joined, or that could be the 6th Monday after they have joined.
Okay. And if we were to set that, would it still work? Because I think the problem is we want to have a coaching call on a certain day and
Yep.
when that module is released. So if they were to join the course after that day, then this would not trigger anymore, right? We would have to, would there be a different way to do that?
No, because but what you're setting up is that, once they have actually joined, so the idea of it is when they have start the session, if they join, because the evergreen idea of the evergreen is that every time they log in, you're assuming that they are starting from scratch. So it's not say 30th of March, for example.
Yeah.
No, they're not starting. So they're treating every day that they start as the 30th of March. So there's
Right.
no actual real start date. So you're starting with when they are starting, right? The first day start
Right.
counting as the point of evergreen. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah. So technically it would not be an evergreen anymore with what we were trying to set up. Yes, that makes
So
sense.
if you want something, it's much easier, Katrina, and obviously you want to, once this is set up, you wanted to make sure that you have automation email to go out to the students is what we were looking at before in step number 4. So that you wanted to make sure there are emails that is set up to actually go out to say your session has been released, so that the student knows the session has been released. So you need to set it up here, and then once that day that's released, so you can choose, for example, session number 3 has been released, then you will need to set up an automation to make sure that the student gets notified that the email has gone, that
Yeah.
the session has been released. So,
Okay.
yeah, but Katrina, sounds like you're trying to do something really cool, and you're definitely, working on giving students a system in the past. But what I highly recommend that you wanted to do, you want to probably, if you haven't already, really map it out before you start going in to set up these automations, because you don't want to, you want to set up one after another rather than actually, hang on, I missed something and go back. It can sometimes get a bit, because it sounds really easy now, but once you set up 10 automations, everything become a blur. Sorry,
Yeah.
I've done this. Trust me, I've gone back and thought, I have done that. No, I haven't done that. So, I'm totally guilty on actually forgetting to do something and go back to do it and then going, but hang on, wait a minute, that makes no sense. So
Right.
I do highly recommend at least have a mapped out and going, I want my students to walk down this X path, Y, Z at this certain date, and then go and systematically allocate the release timing. But you will do this anyway, because with the step number 3 anyway, because this is every session you will need to do this anyway. So choose when, while you're actually uploading everything. So after X day, so this is actually really good. After they've started, after the X day, that you release the session. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
is
got
that
it. Thank
helpful?
you.
Have I actually
Yes.
answered your question?
Yes, you did. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Becky.
Cool. Awesome. And yeah, but I mean, Katrina, do come back to these sessions if I'm not making any sense, or drop me an email and say, oh, well, can you expand on that? Happy to help. So
Okay, great. Thank you. I saved your email. Okay. I'll hop
Susan,
off now. Thank you so much, everyone.
bye.
Bye.
Susan, you got questions? No? So everybody happy? And I think I promised Vivian a few more questions if you wanted to ask your questions, or do you have to jump off? Sorry, you're on mute, Vivian.
Yes, I do have questions, but when you're finished with that,
Yeah.
however many minutes we can do is be great.
Karen, do you have any more questions, or?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right. So Vivian.
Okay, well, I'm kind of in the Katrina camp of things, but what I'm wanting to do is have a cohort,
Yep.
run a beta first, but a cohort. My course will be 9 weeks long.
Yep.
There'll be short sessions.
Yep.
There'll be one onboarding session that I'd like them to watch the weekend before
Yep.
the course starts. So I will have a start day for course, if I understand correctly, then an onboarding, you can have a first, which would have to be called module 1, even though it's not in the rest of the things, that could be openable or can, as soon as they log in, or could I make it not openable until the weekend before? So I'm not sure on that, but the most
Sorry,
important,
Vivian, answer to your question. Yes, you can have that, you can have that visible, but not, they can't access it. So they can see it's there, but
okay,
you don't have to you don't have to release that section. So they can't access, they can't actually click into it, but it will be
okay,
sitting there for them to be able to see that is upcoming.
perfect. So
Yeah.
that
So
there's
that's
something
the
real
first,
that's there for them. And that's different than the welcome video. Is that correct? If I have
that's
that
correct.
correct?
Yeah,
Perfect.
that's correct.
So I want to have it start on X day, the course.
Yep.
But have that onboarding one available for 2 days prior to the starting course. So
Yep,
I should actually
absolutely.
say that's a separate setting, or I have this course starting on the first of the 2 days. I want them to be able to watch the onboarding video and then camp
Okay,
stuff.
I'll quickly show you. So here, so release time here, Vivian. So yeah, so you can actually say, you know, you can actually have that release on a specific date. So for example, Vivian, if you say, oh, I wanted, so, you know, everybody signed up today, and my session is on the 20th. Oh, sorry, the 22nd, but I want them to have the session on the 20th. What you'll do is you'll actually go in and change the date to select a date. So on the 20th at, say, 9 o'clock, you can have this session released. So
Okay.
you can set it up. So this session will be available and they will be able to click into it and open on the 9th. Sorry, on the 20th,
On the 20th
which is 2 days
instead of the
before
22nd.
at 9 o'clock.
Beautiful.
One little tip though, Vivian,
Yes.
and for everybody, for Karen as well, and for Susan, if you're actually doing something like this that is actually specifically target at a time, you must go and set up your school account and change that to your time zone. Otherwise,
Yes.
it will be
Okay.
any sort, because if you change your time zone after you've set up the automation, everything will be changed in your automation to go back to
Okay.
so that will reset the timing and the date. For example, New
Okay.
Zealand is actually ahead of the world. So
Yes.
if I go and change that to American date, all the automation will fire tomorrow instead of the
Yes.
day I wanted. So
Got it.
yeah. So
Understood.
yeah.
So the
I
course,
when I was new, I made that mistake. So and I was kind of going, okay, I always have to warn everybody about this because this is freaky.
yeah, well, that's a great power tip, absolutely. So the course itself, separate of that early 2 day thing, will be each week. So it's 9 weeks and it's structured as a week. So the shorter sessions will be on weekdays and then longer sessions on weekends. So I would be setting up each as far as after X day, which X day will be that first Monday.
Yeah.
Since the
Yeah.
onboarding would be Saturday and Sunday. So there'd be first Monday, and each thing I would set up the first Tuesday and then this first Wednesday. And then for
Yeah.
the second week, it would be the first Monday. That would be the Monday one would be that, and the next one,
Yeah.
the next Tuesday would be the next after that. Perfect. And at the end, on the last day of 9th
Yeah.
week, is it possible to set up, and I may not be using the correct word, a bonus, or at least a situation that where they need to do 2 actions to get the bonus? And I'd like the bonus to be a downloadable certificate.
Yeah, absolutely. So the quick answer is yes, Vivian. Absolutely. It's called an event. So every time we talk
Event.
about a event, so it's
Okay.
a event that triggers something. So the automation will use the word event. So if something happens, an event that happened, so an event must occur for the automation to work. So yes, that you will actually be able to answer questions, get them right essays and all different things in your last session. So for example, I'll show you here. So for example, you can actually add quizzes, for example, and checkpoints.
okay.
So and so how you do that, Vivian, I'm just gonna, I think by the time you get here, Vivian,
I'll have it,
hopefully
see
you
it,
have
yeah.
built it, but just come back anyway, to the session and ask the
Okay,
questions.
great.
So, so you can actually choose simple checkbox, essay response, or multiple choice. This is where you can actually
Okay.
get them to write your answer, give you feedback, whichever,
Yes.
whatever you need here.
Yeah, the two
So
things. One would be a feedback, and then the other would be just a survey question form.
Yeah.
That way
Yeah.
I can have some proof for them that their thing was complete, because I'm not going to set up like CEUs or anything exotic like
Yeah.
that.
yeah,
Oh,
so
cool. That's very
yeah,
cool.
and
So would a
so
milestone and a celebration also be considered events?
yes, absolutely,
Okay,
for sure.
perfect.
For sure. Every
All
time that
right.
you enter into an automation, it's triggered by an event. So for
Okay.
example, they complete session number 2, that you want them to have a celebration, that will be an event. The event is that they have finished session 2, for example, or module 2. That is an event. So
Okay, good.
yeah.
Yes. All righty. And in the realm of doing a cohort, um, is each cohort have to be its own course, or can it be there's a cohort and then at the end of that cohort I would set another date for it to begin again?
So you
Because it'd be the
wanna,
same course, but it'd
yep.
be in cohorts.
I would, do you want this, are you setting up forum as well, Vivian?
Not forum, because I'm just beginning, so
Yeah.
there would be like the forum would seem very empty, so that's not going to seem inviting. Comments, yes, but I'll set an off-site forum so that
Yeah.
multiple cohorts can talk to each other, like on Facebook or something else.
Yeah.
But for in the class, there's cohort 1, and then after about 9 weeks, that's done, and then I'll have like a month off myself so
Yep.
that I can process, see if anything I need to be changing,
Mm.
and then have another cohort. Is that considered a separate course, or can I have the cohort repeat on another date? The course as a cohort repeating on another date? Because if you're
I
doing
would,
something that's a cohort, you're not going to do just one. You would be repeating it, but I don't
yeah.
know how that exists in Experienceify.
So Vivian, you can, you can duplicate the course.
Okay.
So you can, so it's quite straightforward to duplicate the course and run a brand new sequence. But obviously, once you duplicate, you need to go through and check all your automations. Obviously, that's really
Yes,
important. Because just sometimes, as you tweak things, and
exactly. Okay.
so yeah,
I
so
see that.
that's a way that what we normally do when we do because our mission AI is an ongoing,
Yes,
we run different
right.
cohorts. So what we do is we duplicate the course and
Perfect.
basically getting
And
that goes
do a
through,
pre
the new
pre-flight
intake
check.
basically. I contain them to their different cohorts because sometimes they are from Australia, sometimes they are from Canada, Japan,
Yes.
different places. So we contain each and every individual thing, and sometimes that, depending on what courses you're running and things like that, sometimes you may want to tailor certain messages and certain images to different cohorts.
Yes.
So that way
Right.
it's much tidier. But like if it was an evergreen, you wanted people to come on board at any time, but after a certain amount of days, like Katrina's course, actually, that's what she
Right.
was talking about, evergreen, right? Just keep going.
Yeah.
So 8 people can start at any time, finishing at say 3 months time, or 12
Right.
modules time. So depending on what you wanted to achieve, that I will set it up slightly different.
Okay.
So,
And
but
with
yeah.
the respect to that, I have a lifetime Experienceify, and I know I have 10 courses in there, because I was wondering with my this particular thing, which is a teacher's stress eraser experience, each time that's a cohort, is that considered another program, or is that still just another iteration of that one program within a subscription?
I believe it's active courses. I think it's I need to check on this, Vivian. I'm really sorry. I
Okay.
can't give you a straight
No,
answer
that's
on this.
okay. I'm not, that it could be a complex question. I don't know. Wasn't
No, I think I actually reset. So I need to check on that
Reset.
because I am a
Okay.
little bit
I would
not sure.
appreciate that because
Yeah.
it'll help me understand if maybe I shouldn't be doing this how I anticipate doing it
Yeah.
before I do it.
Vivian, do I have your email address?
It should be viv@viviannewintersisrael.com. It's a
Okay.
longie. I can pop it in the
Yeah,
chat.
please, if you don't mind. I will send you
Not at all.
about the reset. Sorry, I don't
That's
actually know
okay.
the answer to that. So I think it resets the
That would
numbers
be
reset.
beautiful if
So
it does.
yeah. Yeah, but I'm
And
not clear
one
about that.
Yeah, one final question. Is a expiring mini course, could that be like a little master class that repeated once every 3 months? Is that?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
perfect.
So the idea of a EMC is actually it's your
Oh, is that what
so
EMC is? When they were
yeah.
saying that, I didn't know what they were talking
Okay.
about. Okay.
So EMC is expiring mini course. So the idea
Perfect.
of it is to actually using the EMC is taking people through a mini experience of what your bigger course is going to look like.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So, and if you're thinking about building an EMC, Vivian, this is always my recommendation. Solve only one problem only in your EMC. So you don't want to give them information overload. The idea.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
are
Yes.
we're dropping out a
Definitely.
little bit? Yeah. So,
Yes.
so I'm just going to turn my hotspot on because
You froze, but we could hear you.
Internet become a bit patchy. Apologies. So yeah, so the idea of it is not too long, and you want to take people through the experience. So ultimately, at the end, what you wanted to do is actually lead them into buying the bigger course, obviously.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Becky.
You're most
You've been
welcome.
so helpful, and other people's questions have been very helpful. And
Yeah.
bless your heart, thank you for staying so I could get these questions that were driving me
No,
nuts.
no problem, no problem. I just wanted to make sure, and I do think that do send Marina an email about your
I will.
form, Vivian,
Yes.
because I think I don't know why. Oh, bye, Karen. So I don't know why the striking is happening.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Just want to be sure I marked it out correctly. Thank you very much, and see you
You're
next
most
week.
welcome. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.